fellow motorcycle enthusiast. I've decided to make this little YouTube channel about my wife's TTR230. It's a neat little bike. It reminds me of my bike, which I had in pieces for 4 years and I didn't put together until one day I put it together. And yes, I did the cover myself. I had to take the wrinkles out. And we went out riding this weekend, but what I thought was going to be a bit of a dog and I was going to sell for parts turns out to be one hell of a motorcycle. It's got the 250 with the twin cam motor, and it's just a beast. A lot better than I expected. So I decided to upgrade it a little bit, and I put in a new fender along with a new headlight. You can see the headlight. It replaces the faded one that was from Yamaha and the fender that was cracked, and it looks pretty decent. It actually made the bike look good. And while I was at it, I got some new levers. I know they're gold, but they were the cheapest one, and it doesn't look too bad with the blue. Now, the reason I changed the headlight bulb is because this is an LED bulb. Extremely bright. 2 or 3 times as bright as the original bulb. And this is one that I got off of eBay. This is actually what it came with, a regular incandescent bulb. And I decided to use this LED bulb, which is extremely bright. I also put one in the brake section. Nice and bright. And the reason for this is, well, now I've got my wife's bike, which doesn't have a headlight, but it does have this little cover plate that looks strikingly similar to the aftermarket one that I got from, actually no, excuse me, I got it from Amazon. So she wants one. So that's going to be the project on this bike. Actually, there's many projects on this bike. One is to put on headlights, turn signals. We're going to change the levers to something a little bit more friendly, since that one's already bent. And we're also going to uncork this one a little bit. We're going to rejet the carburetor because we took it out on a cold day and it just took forever to warm up. And even when it did, it would spit and sputter a little bit, so it's jetted a little bit lean. So anyway, this is the bulb that was in there originally. I don't know if you could see it, but that's the bulb that's in there now. It's an LED bulb, extremely bright. This is 32 watts. That is 11 watts and twice as bright. So I've been told that this TTR has a 64 watt stator. And that's why I decided to put the same setup as I have on my bike, on my wife's bike. So here's the one that I got off of Amazon. That's just a little plastic covering right there to protect the lens. I'm going to replace the bulb before I put it in, but this is going to be for her bike. And I also happen to have the levers color coded to the bike. Not too bad. Really, I'm just doing it because one was bent, so I figured why not? It was cheap enough. And this is part of the other project that I had on this bike, on my original 250. This needless seat, as you can see, was really badly messed up. And the key to these bikes is this one little component right there. And that is the fuel filter, which, by the way, is actually kind of dirty. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, this is what keeps the bikes alive. I would recommend you always put one on the bike. Even if it's brand new, it'll keep the bike running good. Okay, well, stay tuned. I'm gonna take it apart and start putting it together, and then I'll do the wiring as well. Okay. There's the adjusting nut, protective cover. I might keep it. Screw underneath, screw on top. Let's put this all the way in first. There's no pressure on this. Okay, that'll be easier. Yep. One on the bottom. Okay. Ready for the transplant. Oh, don't let it go in there. Okay. Okay, so I took power from the brown wire and I just ran the black wire to the ground wire where the plastic used to hold before. It was just a holding, now it's also the ground wire. And I ran the power off the brown wire, which is connected to the switch right here. So every time you hit the switch, the light comes on. It doesn't interfere with the vehicle turning on or off. And there. So this is the ground wire. And the brown wire off this switch. Going down there, you'll see red and black, and then it transitions into two browns. Use the one brown on the furthest side towards the clutch as your power source for the light. LED, 11 watts, bright as heck. Works great. Extremely bright. Oh, and I also twisted these inward because it's 2 inches 600 thousandths in between these two, and now they actually have a mounting point on both sides, so it's pretty sturdy. Finally figured out how to use this plastic to hold it in place. And I've got room down here for the turn signals in the future. That's going to be a whole nother wiring thing though. So, looks good. Looks a lot like my TTR. Just needs a sticker. Okay, for everybody that's been asking the question, where do you take the power off for the headlights? Well, you can take it off for this one right here. Underneath the front cover, below the switch. If you follow it down, there's some red and black wires, and it goes down to here. It would be the brown wire. Okay. The brown wire is the one you take power off. There's constant power going to the red, but the brown is only powered when the switch is on. And then when the switch is off, the power goes off to the brown wire, which means the power goes off to the headlight. So that's the one. This relay here is for the start switch. This one over here is for the kill switch. The middle one is the on-off button, and this one here is the clutch. Okay, this is the one that's on the end of here. You have to press it to be able to start it in gear. Okay, and curious thing about these grips is they're spring loaded, so even if they do go back, oh, and you do have to set this, because when they come from the manufacturer, it comes unadjusted and loose, so you have to tighten them down at least and get them where you want to.